Michael Bluestein, we're talking today, and my first reaction to see your camera come up is you got your keyboard like right in front of you. I love anytime there's an interview with an artist and they got their instrument right with them. That's like the best.
It's right up. It's a bit on the nose, I guess, but hey, why not?
How often a day are you playing anything, whether it's practice or a part or just an idea? How many minutes in a day do you play?
Well, it varies. You know, a lot of times I'm staring at a computer screen and kind of working on a track and making sure doing all the technical things involved and getting the right amount of reverb on a vocal, or, you know, redoing a part or moving a part around or trying a different part. So it varies. You know, I have a piano in the other room and this is the studio. So there's different instruments. A guitar will be in my lap, a bass, whatever. I'll be on the keyboard. I'll be messing with a plug-in or something. So, you know, it's the modern musician way, right? It's just, but, you know, hours, lots of hours.
That's it. Well, you're doing a little bit, as I understand, a little bit different now because lineup change in the band. Foreigner, obviously, just literally the other day, 123 tour dates announced. And we've known about a couple here in Western Wisconsin. There's, of course, Ashley for the Arts we've been talking about for months at Arcadia on August 13th. And then there's also the Treasure Island Resort and Casino show on July 2nd. So if anyone's seen Foreigner before, going to see a slightly different lineup. Tom Gibble, talked to him before. It was a great interview, and he's left the group, but now we have Luis Maldonado coming in. And I understand, I was reading a story on this, that does that change some of your parts? How does the balance and the dynamic change with Luis coming into the group?
Yes, it does a little bit. Luis plays guitar and bass in the band, and he's a fantastic singer as well. But yeah, so we've lost the saxophone portion of the band. So there was a big feature in Urgent for Tom's saxophone. So that doesn't happen anymore, but people have to come by and see the show to see what actually happens then, because it's a nice little surprise that on that song for the solo. Other than that, you know, Tom was playing some keyboards. Jeff jumps over to keyboards on some of the songs when Tom was playing, and then Luis jumps on bass. So we got it all covered.
What all are we going to see on these tour dates this year? Is anything, I mean, well, especially getting back into the groove post-pandemic, what are we going to see on these shows compared to any prior Foreigner shows over the past several years?
Well, let's see, what are some surprises? Well, I guess I'd be remiss to not mention that it's the 40th anniversary of Foreigner 4. So I guess maybe a little more special focus on that album, perhaps some deeper cuts coming up here and there. I think there may be a rotating song in the set where things change up a little bit. Yeah, there'll be a couple surprises here and there. But there's a lot of hits that we have to get to. So have the problem that there's too many songs, too many hit songs to actually play in the set. So, you know, we try to switch it up a little when we can.
What's your favorite cut off of 4?
I'd have to say Jukebox Hero. Yeah, that one always gave me chills.
Yeah, you said in an interview I was watching recently, you said Long, Long Way to Home, or Long, Long Way from Home, is your favorite song to play. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it was always one that just kind of gave me goosebumps, got me excited. You know, when I first was hearing the band, you know, of course I loved all the tunes, but that one, I don't know, had something special about it that felt a little different. The melodic of it and the lyrics kind of had this intensity about it that always got me. What
keyboard wise do you like in Foreigner, in particular keyboard parts? Is there anything of the textures, anything of the particular instrumentation of the, you know, multiple keyboardists have been in the band over time, going back to the 70s? Is there anything in particular that's you're kind of drawn towards that you try to emulate in your playing with the band?
Yeah, I mean, I like sort of the monophonic synth parts that were they sound sort of like a mini Moog. You know, they were actually not, I mean, I won't get too technical in here. They weren't played on that exact instrument, but they were played on a 70s analog synth that was kind of like a mini Moog. Anyway, like some of those, I love the Hammond organ stuff, you know, that's really classic. I've always loved, I own a Hammond B3 and Leslie. I always loved Hammond organs. So That's really fun. There's some great, Along Away from Home has a great clavinet part. All the Thomas Dolby played most of the keyboards on Foreigner 4. So a lot of his parts on Waiting for a Girl Like You are pretty amazing. Great, cool sounds on Jukebox Hero, Urgent, Yeah, definitely there's just so many great, like you said, textures. There's just a ton of great textures in the band that I get to draw from.
Well, and now with over a decade in the band, how has your perspective on Foreigner changed from being someone like, okay, you know the music, but you don't know it because you're not in the band, you're joining it. Now, again, over a decade on, and you probably know these songs inside and out and backwards and forwards, etc. So how has your perspective on this music changed, having lived it for so long?
Yeah, I think I have a real respect for all the parts, the hooky things, all the great keyboard sort of hooks that jump in and out, like Waiting for a Girl Like You, I Want to Know What Love Is, Urgent. All these tunes have these great little hooky parts. Yeah, so I always try to pay tribute to those and do those kind of in a respectful way, in a way that, pretty close to how they were conceived. But there's definitely been some room for me to kind of put my own spin, or my own sort of the way I hear things, and kind of my own feel here and there. And there's little moments where I get to express that, and I try to get those in there too. So it's a dance between paying tribute to what's already been done, and faithfully representing those parts, but at the same time getting your own little stamp in there, when the time's right.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite or multiple favorite Foreigner keyboard parts of any particular song or songs?
Well, the feels like the first time there's a sort of the word is like this word, it kind of, and again, musical term, an ostinato. It's a part that continues, and it's repetitive, but it's sort of like when the chorus comes in, it's just synthesizer part that's just your hands just goes like that, just keeps going, and it's chorus, and it's just over and over again, but it has this sort of hypnotic, dreamlike kind of repetitive thing, which sort of ties the whole chorus together. I think that one's pretty awesome, and it's fun to play because you play it really fast and you just kind of relax and get into the groove with it.
Yeah, I always kind of wondered about that particular line, because it comes in right off the bat, right at the beginning of the song. The recorded version we play here in the studio and on the radio. I always wondered, is that? I think that might have been pre-arpeggiation back in '77 or whenever it would have been recorded. So that, probably was played live in the studio like that. So that's all. And as you I'm glad you demonstrated that right there. It's kind of cool to actually see how that goes, and you got to get that down there.
I would hope so by now.
After all that time, what's the most difficult keyboard part to play?
I would say that's one of them, because you have to be really relaxed for that. I'm actually playing this on a piano action keyboard, so it feels more like a piano, which would make it harder, because pianos are obviously, you have to dig in a little more. Right. But it was done on a synthesizer, which has lighter action, so that makes it a little easier. But in either case, you have to be relaxed. If you tense up, it sounds tense. You have to be relaxed.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I play a little bit of piano at home, and if I have to play if it's like a Mozart line, or start doing those ostinatos, da da da, and like after a while, I always tense up. It always happens with me. That's like a lifelong problem. So yeah, I can see how if you're not relaxed, it's gonna creep up in the middle of a show, and you got to play that all the time.
Yeah, the key is to relax into it.
Absolutely. How do you keep what practice techniques do you use to keep your chops up after all this time playing all this music and making sure you stay relaxed? What are your techniques after years and years of playing?
Well, fortunately, a lot of the work I've already done in the practice room kind of keeps me at a baseline where I can stay pretty relaxed playing the tunes. Piano's a little different. Keyboards are a little different than, say, trumpet, where you have to every day, a trumpet player has to practice just to keep his tone together, just to keep your sound together and your lips and your embouchure. There's all that stuff that it requires daily maintenance. Piano for a certain level, I'm not playing Rachmaninoff and Liszt and go here. So,
Yeah.
The technical demands are not quite that high. So, fortunately I'm at a technical point where I don't necessarily have to sit down and practice this to do it, because I've done it enough times that it's sort of the muscle memory thing is in there. And, luckily there's a baseline that's already been achieved, as far as those tunes go. Again, not the case. I'd be embarrassed to sit down and dust off my Chopin right now. That's not where it needs to be at all. But yeah, the foreigner tunes, I feel pretty comfortable with.
What would be your favorite deep cut or any foreigner song that hasn't really been played live? Of course, you get so many hits to play. Is there any deep cut you wish you could break out of, like, man, there's a part on that, or there's just a sound, even if it's not necessarily what you would play, there's a sound you wish you could play live with a band more frequently anyway? Yeah,
Girl on the Moon from Foreigner 4 has some great keys on there. And actually we did a Foreigner 4 and More live in Vegas. I'm sorry, not in Vegas, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, at the Borgata Casino a few years back, and we got to do some of those. And actually we did an unplugged version of Girl on the Moon, which was kind of fun. But yeah, the Girl on the Moon, the actual full version produced track on Foreigner 4 has some amazing keyboard stuff. I hope we do that at some.
That would be nice. So 14 months ago, you did Why Corona. Have you done any additional writing on your own? Is that something you do just in general, just working on your own stuff, that whether it comes to public knowledge or not? Have you been doing any other writing over the last year plus or so?
A lot, yes, a lot. Well, I've probably completed, 40 new pieces ish since, during this time, easily. I put out songs. I have a duo with my girlfriend called Tina Blue. We've been putting out songs. You can check us out, tinabluela.com. We've just put out a new single. I do a lot of writing for TV and film too. So I've got some instrumental cues floating around, different TV shows, all over the world really. So I do a lot of that stuff too. Instrumental writing, orchestral things, sort of little, maybe sometimes, jazz, a 2-minute jazz piece, all kinds of different stuff, just depending on the stylistic needs of the show, So yeah, I stay busy. I'm in here all the time doing different stuff. I like to switch it up. I do all kinds of different things, from rock to pop to jazz to like I said, orchestral kind of things. So yeah, I'm always busy in here.
That's awesome. And you're going to be busy on the road very soon. Like I said, after this interview, July 2nd is not that long from now, over at Treasure Island. And then, of course, they asked for the arts one. I hope to be down there with the radio station. So I will hopefully see you guys on stage. Be like, yep, there's all those guys doing the thing. And we'll find out what the urgent part is going to be. I'm really intrigued by what this is going to be.
Yeah, I think people will enjoy it.
Cool. Michael Bluestein, thanks for taking some time to chat with us and doing a little bit of demonstration for us. That was really, really cool. Thank you again. Best of luck going forward on the tour, and all the best. We'll talk to you later.
Absolutely, Luke. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.